In this video, I'm going to cover how to stop reacting to the circumstances of your 3D world and to take conscious control of the direction of your attention and the thought form and the images in your mind, which is actually creating your reality. Because have you ever noticed in your life when you get upset about something in your 3D reality, like a circumstance, something's going on in your life, and you start reacting to that, you start arguing with someone, and then all of a sudden, all these other things in your life start happening that are making you more upset. Bad things start happening to you when you're arguing with this person, or you're feeling a certain type of way that it involves anger, jealousy, you're upset about something, and you notice that all these things are going on around you that are actually intensifying that it's actually attracting all this other stuff to you that is related to that mood that you are in. And this is all based on your thoughts, the thought forms, the pictures in your mind, and the moods that you have with your inner talking. But the good news is you have the ability to take conscious control of this. And once you start realizing this and you start increasing your awareness by covering different topics like this, watching videos like this that go over this and give you practical ideas of how to overcome these things, you'll start to see big changes in your life. And that's the good thing about this, is that you are watching this and your awareness has increased to the point where you're now being led to the answers on how to change your circumstances. So you've probably impressed the subconscious mind with being a new version of yourself, a new concept of yourself. So you're being led to this information that's going to teach you a little bit more about that and how you can start making these changes in your circumstances today. That way your life really starts improving and you really take it to that next level where you really start seeing the changes really start taking place, and you start to notice that you're no longer reacting to these negative things in your reality, and you're seeing the results from that. You'll see the results from that instantly. You'll see that they start to dissipate. But that's exactly what we're going to cover in lesson 31 of Reality Transurfing in 78 Days by Vadim Zeland. This is titled The Oyster Effect. Okay, so this is the principle. People tend to gladly express an attitude of discontent when they feel they have good cause, and yet respond almost indifferently when something good happens, almost as if they take that for granted. Overall, people are not conscious of this tendency, and this is a big part of this, is becoming conscious of your thoughts, being conscious of when you're reacting to something, when you're not reacting, the things that you're doing. You're becoming a real being where someone that has the awareness to actually comprehend when they're making certain choices, and then looking at your thoughts from the outside and actually controlling those thoughts. So this is a big part of this. So they are reacting like an oyster. These people that are doing this are just basically sleepwalking themselves through life, not being a conscious creator and just unconsciously creating their reality without actually observing the thoughts, observing themselves and seeing what they're reacting to, what they're not reacting to, and taking conscious control of their reality and their intentions. So that's what they are. They are reacting like an oyster out of habit from what they've impressed into the subconscious mind, like a sleepwalker, okay? Like a sleepwalker. So now step it up a notch from the oyster. That's what we're going to do. That's what this chapter is covering. Step it up. Wake up and make use of the advantage of consciously expressing your relationship to life. So he's saying this is going to help you take conscious control of your relationship to life, and then you'll start observing your thoughts. You'll be able to become an observer, and then in doing so, you will then have conscious control and be awake and know the thoughts in your mind and know what you're reacting to, know what you're not reacting to, and be able to choose your path in life. And that's a big part of this, is being the observer of your thoughts, is learning how to do this, learning what you desire and figuring out what you want, picturing that thing as being complete, and then falling asleep or impressing the subconscious mind with already having the thing. Whether that's through affirmations or visualizing or scripting, you're being led to that, but you have this conscious control of what you want to create. You're no longer a sleepwalker. Now you're like, okay, I'm living this life, but I want to create this. I want to have this. I want to have this relationship. I want to have this career. I want to have this car. I want to have this house. So now I'm the observer. I know that I can create these things. So I have these desires. So what do I do next? Okay, so I'm going to create a visual scene in my mind as if it's already happened. And I'm going to do this over and over. I'm going to be so persistent in this until I'm able to create this reality, this new reality, as if it's already happened. And then I'm going to fall asleep with that. And then I'm going to create this scene, fall asleep with it, impress it into the subconscious, because I'm taking conscious control of my life. And then you're going to wake up, and then you're going to be the observer of your life, and you're going to know exactly what to do. Doors are going to start opening and leading you to that, and your thoughts are going to be habits at this point, because you're training the subconscious mind to know exactly what you want. So you're going to be waking up and automatically having these thoughts and ideas of things you need to do to get to that desire being fulfilled in your current reality, and you're going to take conscious control and direct this. So this is really important to understand about this, what he's covering in this oyster effect in lesson number 31, because this is like the first step, is having that awareness and then being able to observe your thoughts and then take conscious control of them. So this is the affirmation that he gives right here. I choose the colors for my personal reality with intention. Irrespective of the circumstances, I attune myself to a major key. I do this consciously rather than reacting in a primitive way to external irritants. By controlling the pattern of your thoughts, you control your reality. This is a big part right here. By controlling the pattern of your thoughts, by being the observer and controlling and observing and seeing where they're going, and then taking control of your reality by doing so, then you will have found the master key, or the root foundation of creating anything you want to come into your life. Once you get past this level and you wake up from being a sleepwalker of the world, then you will have the ability to just start manifesting anything that you want, because then you can realize these things and then take conscious control, redirect your thoughts to where you want them to go by impressing the subconscious mind with a mental picture. And then building these habits with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind runs your life 95% of the time. So whatever you're impressing that subconscious mind with habit, and you're picturing something as if it was already complete in your imagination all day long, and as you're going to sleep, you keep doing this, you're going to impress that 95% of the subconscious mind that controls your life to actually create that for your reality. So then you're programmed to go get this thing, and you're programming the entire world to make that happen with you. So it's all going to work in unison together and conform to your new reality when you start doing this. But the first step is what he goes over in this chapter, which is just taking conscious control of what you're thinking about. Taking conscious control of your thought forms and the pictures in your mind. And once you do that, then you can go to that next level. So here's your interpretation. The tendency to negativity generates all kinds of icky features in the mirror, and then your personal world is painted in gloomy colors and filled with unpleasant events. So basically, if you're just being a sleepwalker of your life and you're not taking conscious control, you're just reacting to everything, this is what's going to happen. This negativity, these negative thoughts are going to generate these kinds of things to come into your life, because you're impressing that into the subconscious mind. And you're building these habits of being negative. So all these negative things are going to happen. So your thoughts are going to be solely based on negativity, and your reality is going to respond to that. So that's what's going to be in your current reality. So when a person is depressed, the storm clouds gather all the faster in the mirror reflection. So as soon as a person takes an aggressive stance, the world responds by bristling its fur. You may have noticed that when you argue with someone, sharply expressing your position, some other unpleasant event seems to appear out of left field. So this has happened to me in the past. If I'm feeling aggressive or upset and I'm arguing with someone, I can notice that other things in my life start to fall apart. Like more negativity starts coming in and starts attacking me from all angles. So this is also part of the thought forms. The thought forms can happen almost instantly into your current reality based on the subconscious mind and how it operates. So you have to be very careful of these things and not become sharply expressing your position in an argument, and being very upset and emotionally charged in this type of environment. Because the more irritated you get, the more insistently trouble sinks its claws into you, the more everything around you starts getting under your skin. What matters is what you are thinking about, not how you are thinking about it, but what you are thinking about. Whether you like the reflection or not, it is still the subject of your thoughts. Leave me alone, or I've so had enough of all of this. The only thing that matters is the content of your thoughts. And as a result, the reflection in the mirror is dominated with things that correspond to the content of the image in your mind. Everything is dominated. Your world is dominated with the things that correspond to the content of the images that come into your mind through your thought form. When you take control of the emotions that keep you so attached to the reflection, you free yourself from the mirror. You free yourself from that reality that you no longer want to live in. So there is no point in trying to suppress your emotions. Your feelings are just a symptom of your relationship to what's going on. You have to change your attitude towards everything. Understand how this all operates. And when you do that, your awareness will increase, and then you can make the changes. So there's no point in trying to suppress your emotions in that current sleep state. You must expand your awareness and increase this ability and be the observer of your thoughts and start changing those thought forms and the images in your mind, and just becoming aware of your moods, of your attitudes, and start changing those. So how you perceive and respond to your reality, you have to change your attitude. So when you have freed yourself from attachment to the mirror, then you will acquire the ability to create the reflection you want to see. So that's what he's saying here. When you have freed yourself from attachment to the mirror. So that's a lot of times when you're attached to something, you will have an argument. You will firmly state your claim in an argument because you're so attached to being right. You're so attached to being right that then you draw in all this other negativity. And I used to be this way in my life. I used to attract all this negativity because I would be so dead set on being right about everything, but none of that matters. So you have to free yourself from the attachment of being right in your world, like to the mirror. Then you will acquire the ability to create the reflection you want to see or create the life that you want to have. So I think a good exercise in here would be to take this. He didn't really specify on an exercise to do to improve this ability, but I would say go into a deep meditation, maybe, a couple times a week or a few times a week or whenever you can, whenever you get a free moment. And say this affirmation. So write this affirmation down, or somebody can put this in the column box below in the comments, and I will pin that to the top. I choose the colors for my personal reality with intention. Irrespective of the circumstances, I attune myself to a major key. I do this consciously rather than reacting in a primitive way to external irritants. Or you can change the wording up a little bit, but still with the same exact meaning. That way you can start understanding your thoughts and start controlling them. This is what this is going to do. This is going to get you to ask yourself questions in this meditation. And when you start asking questions about your thoughts, do I have to be thinking this? Why do I have to be thinking this? Why do I have to be this person? I can change this. I can change my mood. I don't have to react this way anymore. I don't have to do this. So these are the questions that are going to pop up in your mind during this meditation. And when you start asking these types of questions is when you start waking up from your sleepwalk. Like you'll stop sleepwalking your life away. And then when you start asking these questions, you'll start waking up within this reality and start taking intentional control of your life and start being an intentional creator rather than a consumer, just consuming things all the time and just being an automaton or a sleepwalker through your life. Now you're going to start waking up and asking these questions. Wait a minute, I don't have to live this life anymore. I don't have to do these things. I don't have to think this way. I don't have to have these bad moods. I don't have to react to these things. Why do I have to be right all the time? And start asking yourself these questions, and you'll start to realize that your awareness starts increasing. And then you have the ability to think outside of the box now. Now you can observe yourself thinking from the outside. I'm going to start making these changes. So you want to know what? I'm going to stop thinking about I got to be right all the time. and I want to get this brand new sports car, or I want to get this brand new house, I want to make this much money, I want to have great relationships, then you can start intentionally taking control of your life and no longer be a sleepwalker. Now you're awake. You're like, okay, I'm going to create this. I'm going to visualize this. I'm going to affirm this. I'm going to be persistent. I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to impress the subconscious mind. This stuff can be really simple once you start waking up. Start waking up and asking these questions. So that's a big part of this. All right, guys, that's the end of this video. This is lesson number 31, The Oyster Effect by Vadim Zeland. This is reality transurfing in 78 days. Don't forget to be one thing you are grateful for. Anything you want me to cover in the future, any sort of content you want me to cover in the future, put that in the comment box below as well. I read all of the comments, so leave any comment you would like, any success stories, and I will see you guys in the next one.